Welcome to The Ride with Chevy and Nasty. Host Randy Chevrier and Sheldon Napastuk guide you through great stories that spark great conversations. Two really big guys talking a big game. The boys are locked in and ready to go. Welcome to The Ride.
And welcome to The Ride, everybody. As always, we are brought to you by Performance Freight Management, WeDrone Real Estate Media, and YYC Calgary Business Group. And folks, we got a good one for you today. I've been kind of excited about getting this gentleman on for a while. Randy, a former teammate of yours, joins us today. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, so I've been keeping tabs. Teammate that I played with in 2013, 14, 15. We won a Grey Cup together. Glenn Love Jr., linebacker, finished up his career in Saskatchewan with a stop in between Montreal. Great guy. He was a great teammate, pretty quiet guy, but he was always a great guy in the locker room, great guy in the community. Opposite me, right? Like, I talk a lot. You know how that is. He was one of those quiet guys, but he got the job done. He was a fierce linebacker. And, since his career, I'd been following him. And I think I mentioned him a couple of times to you. We've had conversations about getting interesting guests, right? Our show is about, transition and life after football. And he was doing something that I think a lot of us would have loved to do after our football career. He's a stunt man. He does Hollywood movies. I kind of followed him. He started, doing the Madden football, what is it?
Motion capture with all the beads on him. Yeah.
Yeah. And when he did that, I actually reached out because I wanted to do it too. Right. But, I didn't because, not everybody does everything they want to do in life. And, unfortunately I couldn't, but, keep following him and he's getting in some movies, Super Bowl commercials, and just living an interesting life. And I said, yeah, sometime we got to get Glenn on the show. Unfortunately, Sheldon, this last week, I think it was Thursday week or leading into this recording, I saw that he was diagnosed. He got some pretty bad news. Got diagnosed with ALS. And I thought, geez, this is terrible. How can we help this guy out? So we got Glenn on the show. He's going to talk about his career. We'll talk about what he's doing, but also about how he's been impacted by this. I don't know, the timing probably is good because it's someone who needs a hand, right?
Yeah. And that's just it. When I heard about it, I put myself, he's also, a young dad. He's got his daughter just had a birthday, I think, in the last little bit. And it gets you thinking about your own life and your own priorities and how, life-changing news affects a guy. But I'll tell you what, Randy, I think he's going to be an amazing guest. I can't wait to get him on and talk. I never met him. I never played with him. He came in after me, but he's one of those guys, when I look at his career, it's kind of the career I wanted to get. I always wanted to be that guy to do that cool stuff. But today we're going to hear straight from the horse's mouth, the guy that actually took it from an idea in his brain to making it a career. And he'll be coming up right here after this commercial break. But before we go to break, just a reminder, Trey, bring it up. Show everybody where they can find us online. You can find us at Chevy Nasty, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, TikTok, and anywhere you listen to your podcast. So thanks for joining us, guys. We'll be right back after this.
Performance Freight Management is a global logistic freight shipping company that will handle the entire shipping process for any package to any country. Whether it be a simple truck shipment from your office to Toronto or your company importing generators from China, PFM Freight handles it all. We have the expertise and technology to handle any shipping requirements. Skip the guesswork and let us take the shipping pain off your plate.
Do you want your business to be known? YYCCalgaryBusiness.ca is Calgary's only online media platform that gets you noticed. Short-form video content is rapidly taking over as the most effective way to engage your audience. Whether you're being interviewed on a vodcast, sharing a sizzle reel, or even hosting your own show, there is one place you can publicize your business. We want to tell your story and introduce you to our network of empowered business owners and leaders right here in Calgary. Isn't it time you took your digital game to 11? Call us or email us now.
And welcome back. Really pleased to welcome to the show former teammate of mine, Glenn Love Jr. Glenn, welcome to the Ride with Chevy and Nasty. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So you
Glenn,
guys, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say it's been a long time since we connected. We played together since 2013, won a Grey Cup together, 2014, 2015 was my last year with the Stamps. And then your career went on, lots going on with you between football, stuntman. Where are you at right now?
Right now I'm in New Mexico, actually.
Is that where you live? New Mexico?
Yep, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay. So Sheldon,
tell us something about Albuquerque, New Mexico, because for a lot of Canadians, there's not a lot of WestJet flights that fly to Calgary down there, and I've seen a few shows. I understand, like, the food's amazing. It's got a great kind of an art scene. Like, what's New Mexico all about?
Yeah, it's all about like the culture here. New Mexico, they have their own type of food. It's either green or red chili kind of thing, so they love that. The Balloon Festival, it's like one of the biggest in the world here, so a lot of people come down to see that. And it is a desert, which people don't realize that it's a high desert, so it does get cold here. It did snow here about 2 or 3 weeks ago as well. So there's a big blizzard probably like a month and a half ago. So
no way.
Really? I didn't know that. So actual snow. Wow.
That's crazy. Yeah. So we got lots to talk about. We don't have you here for a long time, but Sheldon knows I've been talking about you. I've been following you since we've been teammates. Really admire your career transition. You did some great work in the CFL, bounced around a little bit at the end there. Then COVID hit and it looked like you hung them up, only to be doing some stuntman work. And we talked about this. You started, did you start with the Madden franchise? Is that kind of where things took off for you? Like, was that where you got your feet wet?
Actually, it was RG3, those Adidas commercials that he did back in like 2012 or 13. It was off season and I was looking to get picked up by NFL team, and things weren't looking my way. So my coach was like, "Hey man, get in shape for Canada." I'm like, "Canada? Like we're not talking about Canada," but it was cool. So during that off season, I was reached out by a coordinator. They're like, "Hey man, you want to be like RG3 stunt double?" I'm like, "Sure." So I started doing that in the off seasons and stuff, and eventually getting up to BC where I met some people. So that happened, and ever since then started doing Madden every off season. First one I think was Madden 14. That means that was Madden 15 or 16 when it came out. Then towards the end of my career, I started doing different types of training off season. So I used to do like kickboxing. That got into to Muay Thai and all that in the off season, just to switch things up, and because regular off season workouts were kind of getting boring for me, so I try to do something else. Then during my last season with Montreal, I got a call from a coordinator like, "Hey man, can you do this TV show? It's out in Vancouver." I'm like, "Oh man, I'm playing ball. I can't do that right now." Fortunately and unfortunately, I got hurt like 2 weeks later, blew out my knee. It was like ACL, LCL, posterolateral corner, so complete blowout. So I ended up hitting him up like, "Hey man, like I definitely can't do it now since I blew up my knee." He's like, "Well, when's your surgery?" I'm like, "It's in a month." He's like, "Well, can you get in shape for that? And can you get range of motion?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think so." And I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Well, it's a space TV show, so you'll be in wires the whole time, and just if you have good core strength and everything, then you should be good to go." I'm like, "All right." So I bust my ass, trying to get back in shape, did most rehab I could do. Then throughout the whole show, I was pretty much on crutches half the time. But then during you have no weight, no gravity, right? You're in wires. So then I'm just chilling and rehabbing and using that as my rehab as well too. So it was a great opportunity for me, give out to Jeff Arrow for hooking me up with that. So it was great.
So you do the away series while you're rehabbing your knee. You're getting all this stuff taken care of. And now, at this point, are you thinking, hey, this could be a career for me? Because I'm looking at your IMDb here. The away series not the only thing you did, and man's not the only thing you did. You did. It looks like you did a little bit on The Flash, which I know is filmed out in BC. But the one where I saw when big things started happening for you was that Obliterated series on Netflix. That and was it a Super Bowl commercial that you were like? What was it? That commercial was ridiculous, man. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that was actually my second Super Bowl commercial. The first one was it was Super Bowl 100 or something like that, where I was doubling for a couple of guys, and it was fun. But then the other one, the bird one, it was pretty fun. And they're like, man, like because there was a scene where it was like underwater scene. We asked all the guys like, hey man, you guys have your patty? Do you have your patty? Do you have your patty? I'm like, I do. So without a license. So then, yeah, it was fun, man. They put me under water and like had all the gear on, and they took off with me with like a hydraulic tank. It was pretty cool. It was pretty dope. It was a fun opportunity, flying through the air like a bird. So it was fun too. I knew a lot of guys too, so it was fun.
We're gonna have to play that one going into the break. We're gonna get that one on going into the break.
I googled you when I found out we were getting you on, and you've done a lot of really cool things, like that bird one. I think you landed on a roof using cables and something I saw. Yeah. But one of the ones that impressed me most, I saw a lot. You really specialized in the fight scenes. I watched you. There's all these clips of you having it out with other stuntmen. And my favorite one that I think I saw you do is that loop with the shovel, where you guys kept going at each other and coming back again. Yeah, tell me a little bit about that. Was that just a fun reel that you guys put together? Or what was that?
Yeah, that was just a fun thing to put together. I had an idea. I was like, maybe we should just see all of our fight moves and see all of our fight choreographs and stuff, and make it kind of fun. Make it kind of like thing where like it doesn't end. So I just thought like, well, if I start fighting with you and you fight with him, we can loop it all together with the wash and just be kind of fun and cool. So it was all through just fun and games. It wasn't for anything special. It was just us having fun and practicing and different camera angles as well as too, because being a stuntman, you need to learn how to do the action and record the action as well too. So we all took turns recording things, and it was like a learning session. So it was good.
So let me ask you this. Last year we did men's mental health movie night in May, and it was at a movie theater. We had a bunch of guys there. The movie that we chose to present was The Fall Guy, and that basically was an homage to the stuntmen. Yeah. Do you watch a movie like that, or watch movies differently than the rest of us when you're watching like a movie like Deadpool Wolverine, which has crazy action sequences, or like John Wick? Like, do you just break it down like you break down film and football, or is it just you can actually enjoy the movie?
Oh, I definitely enjoy the movies. Like Guardians of the Galaxy is still like my favorite movies and stuff. The Fall Guy was great, but Deadpool's great. It's just you enjoy it, then you go back and watch it again. And it's like, oh, what did they do here to do this? Oh, that's how they did it. Or, oh, that's John. I know him, like kind of thing. So it's like it's really cool seeing like your friends and people.
That's John falling off the building. He's dead.
yeah. All the different angles and effects and stuff that they do. It's crazy now. So it's really fun watching that kind of stuff.
Do you start to find yourself kind of picking it apart, or do you catch mistakes? Like, when you're breaking down film after you play, like you see all the stuff that a person that hasn't played or isn't in the film room is not going to catch. So do you find yourself catching little things on camera?
Oh yeah, all the time. And like, don't have me on camera there. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't mess up kind of thing. But people are like, you did great. I'm like, no, I'm not telling you what I did wrong. But it's funny because then you look at the old like action TV shows and stuff, and you see like you can see kind of the wires and stuff sometimes, or like you can see how they did it, and I am kind of critiquing it, but at the same time it's like that's still great and it still works kind of thing, right? So it's fun in games all the time. It's like it is like football, where like you're just like kind of watching the game, you're enjoying the game, at the same time you're like, what is that guy doing? Or like, that's a good play, or like, whoa, he actually did that. Like, it was just something really cool. So it's always something fun. It's always good.
That's pretty awesome. Now, you mentioned fun and games, and it's not all fun and games. Like, I've been talking with Sheldon about getting you on for a long time. This week, I go on Instagram and I read something that was obviously unpleasant to you and unpleasant to me. And, the whole basis for our show is, we talk about a journey. It's a ride. And we talk about that journey past that age of invincibility. For many people, many adults, it's going to be career change. You've experienced it from football, stuntman. Some of it's going to be personal life changing, and some of them it's going to be health. You received some news this summer. I believe you said is a couple of days after your birthday. Can you just share with our people listening sort of what you went through this summer, the diagnosis you got, and kind of where you're at right now?
Yeah. So this summer, actually, the day after my daughter's first birthday, went to go see some doctors, some neurologists, and the first one I saw during that day, like, she was saying, "Oh, it's stress and all that kind of stuff." I'm like, I just been through like 4 or 5 months of different doctors. I know it's not stress right now. It's something different. So I'm like,
what were you feeling? What were you feeling that made you go to the doctor first off?
Okay, so about a year and a half ago, a little bit more, I started having like a little twitching in my shoulder, and I thought it was because I had like pec surgery. So I was like, oh, maybe it's fatigued or something or whatever. Then kept getting worse, and this twitching is like all day, every day, so it doesn't stop. So it started getting worse. Started feeling like my bicep, tricep. I'm like, all right, something's going on. So went to the emergency room and just maybe I need an IV or something. So I got IVs. That didn't help. Fast forward a couple more weeks, getting like MRIs, getting blood tests drawn, getting everything done. So it was good like 6 months or whatever with just like me not knowing what's going on. In the meantime, I'm still working out 5 times a week, doing training, stunt work, like kickboxing, Muay Thai, and still lifting weights and stuff. And just, I wasn't getting strong. It was always like I was either maintaining or getting worse on my left side. So then once I'm finally like, man, something's going on, whatever. Then I finally found a doctor at UNM Hospital, he's a neurologist, and they're like, hey, like, I was saying they're stressed. I'm like, I don't think it's stress. I've been through all this kind of other stuff. It's probably not that, whatever. Then they leave. Another doctor comes in, Dr. Couchy. He was the head ALS doctor at UNM. Starts doing a test with me, starts, breaking down like, so, like, what's going on with you? Are you losing weight? No. You're losing strength? Yes. How much are you losing strength with? And where's all the twitching going now? And about that time, my twitching was in both arms and chest and a little bit of my back. So, I'm like, so like, what is it then? Like, what do you guys think it is? And he's like, sorry to say it, but like, you probably have ALS. That was the first time hearing from a doctor, and I'm like, all right, take a deep breath in, whatever. Then like, start asking questions, and like, or a question comes up, like, what does that mean? How long is that? Is that fatal? He's like, well, technically it's like 2 to 3 years minimum, like average. I'm like, all right, and that's when like the world just kind of like goes bright black, whatever you want to call it. You're just like in like a numbing state at that point. You don't know like what's going on, and you don't feel like it's real. So deal with all that, and then what brought me back down, I was thinking about like my little girl. I was thinking like, oh, if I only have 2 or 3 years, she's only a year old, she ain't remember me. Like, it's just that kind of whole thing like sprouted down for a little bit. It was a pretty tough couple weeks after that, but gratefully I have great family members. They flew down to see me and just stay with me for a couple of days, and putting things together and praying and all that as well too, and trying to figure things out. But after that, got my head right. Then the same thought that what tore me down for a long time brought me back up, because I'm gonna be here to see her. So
no, I like we're all dads here, Glenn. Like, that's the first thing when Randy told me you're coming on, and I read up on that. I mean, first off, my hat's off to you for being strong. Everything I've seen about you and heard about you is your mental strength and your positive attitude. But I know once we start talking about our kids and legacy and that, I know, man, that's the thing that I was having the hardest time wrapping my head around it. Now as you're working through this, like, how has that changed that? How has it changed the way that you approach each day? I mean, I imagine treatment and everything that you can do right now, including quality time with your daughter, it's got to take a whole new meaning to you.
Yeah, it is. It's every day. I'm grateful for every day for being here and every day to see her and everything. So, yeah, you wake up, you do some, for me, you wake up, do some stretching, do some cardio, just make sure everything's moving right and all that. You check out your limbs and like, oh, well, this finger's not moving good today. Like, let's work on that kind of thing, right? So you just kind of go about your day and kind of embrace of what's happening, because like eventually, hopefully, God willing, that things can change for you. And right now, I'm bust my ass to try to do as much as I can and everything, get as much info as I can, do much research, and talk to as many people as I can as well too. So it's an ongoing battle every day.
And so, Glenn, part of the reason to get you here is share your story, but also help you out, right? Like when I read on the weekend, or I think it was Friday, we started talking, maybe last Thursday. I saw you got a GoFundMe, and we're gonna put that link up here because we want to spread the message. We want to help you out. When we talk about a GoFundMe, this, I remember years ago, we were probably teammates when the ALS bucket challenge. Everybody was doing that, but a lot of people were doing it. They didn't really know what it means. They didn't have a personal connection to it. But at the time but this is a real person. You're a real person, and the funds go to you directly. What do those funds mean? Like, what do they, like, what type of treatments do you have to get to help you battle this and help you, like you said, be there for your daughter as long as possible and establish that legacy? What does that help you with?
Yeah. First of all, I just want to say thank you for everybody that's been even praying, passing this along, and giving donations. Man, it means the world. I can't do this stuff without y'all, 100%. So for me right now, there's a facility in LA that I'm going to be flying to every Sunday to Tuesday, starting in like a week or two. I've been there before already. They're doing like CVAC machines, which is kind of like a hydraulic taper, but a little bit different. They're doing biomodulators, which help out with your energy and like voltage in your body, because body's made of water and electricity and that kind of stuff. So helping that get up, and also repairing nerve cells as well too. So doing that, makes like trying to do peptides and trying to do everything. But it's pretty costly, because out here in New Mexico is not that much out here. My little girls are here, so that's why I'm here. But other than that, like, I gotta go out there to get treatment. I gotta come back to see her, and it's a lot of back and forth, a lot of travel, a lot of money just for just traveling. But also the treatment as well is not the cheapest thing in the world, because everybody's trying to find a cure for, or just find something that maintains this beast of a disease. So yeah, I'm trying everything I can right now, and that treatment out there is promising. There's a young gentleman out there named Johnny. He's probably the first ALS patient that they had, and he is doing well. Not progressing in the last 9 months, so kind of following him, trying to follow his footsteps and try to follow other people that has beat this disease. So taking as many vitamins I can. He has a big old 40 vitamin list. I'm only at 25 right now, which is kind of crazy saying right now, but like only at 25, like what? But just trying to do as much as I can to just to be here.
Well, and I started doing some reading, because there's still so much. We all know about the ASL Ice Bucket Challenge, but there's a lot of things we don't really know still as a public about what this is. So I jumped on and was trying to get as much knowledge as I could. And it seems there may even be a link to some autoimmune, which then like diet becomes a part of. Have you looked at, is the diet a big part of what you're doing right now too, or
Yeah. So at first, the doctors, there's a nutritionist there at the ALO clinic. She's like, eat everything possible. You just need carbs and carbohydrates, and everything. Just maintain your weight. I'm like, okay. So started eating, gaining 10 pounds. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm not doing this. And going back, she's like, oh, you maybe a little bit overdid. I'm like, oh, okay. So then now, like, I am eating very, very healthy now. Back to my normal weight, and it's not dropping, which is good. Just very, very conscious. I'm taking some of my friends in Vancouver, Tammy and Dana, they're like giving me these books to read, these nutritionist books, and these detox situations where right now I'm doing a detox, like a metal detox kind of thing. So I'm just doing a lot of different things just to keep my body healthy, and all these vitamins, the good vitamins like fish oils and all that, just to B12 shots, just to make sure that everything's working right. And I want to give my body the best opportunity it can. So yeah, I'm very, very cautious now of what I'm eating.
Now, go ahead, Sheldon.
Well, I was just saying too, because I was doing some reading up on things like ketos and higher fat, like higher energy foods and things like that. I'm never one to give advice because what do I know, right? But I was just curious how much diet comes into play with all the other treatments and everything that you're doing. Because I can imagine you're looking at everything just to keep at your peak optimal health for as long as you can, right?
Right. And it's like there's so much mixed things out there where there's disease. Like some people might do better on just like a plant-based diet. That's it. Some people might do better with a keto diet. So just you never know. You have to just try out this thing because the doctors don't even know. So it's like you just have to go out. It's like the Wild Wild West. So you just got to go out there, and if it sticks and it tries, and if it works, and all right, if it doesn't, kind of give it up, move to something else, kind of thing. That's all it is right now because they don't.
So let me ask you this, Glenn. So, when I read, I instantly, reached out to you, and then, I reached out to Kelsey Snow, and the Snow family is very well known in Calgary. Her husband's battled with ALS, Chris Snow, who was the assistant GM of the Flames, and community guy. I have a personal connection. Our kids played hockey together. I reached out to her, and, she gave some advice that he was given. And the doctor, when he was diagnosed, told them to, do what brings you joy. And, Sheldon and I, we always talk about this show was something that we started just after COVID because we needed something that brings us joy. Is there something you do every day now amongst all the chaos? Because there's got to be information overload. There's got to be self-doubt. There's got to be stuff when you wake up in the morning that's like, it's like playing ball when you're hurt in 2 days. You got to get up and go because no one else going to pick you up. What brings you joy? And I know you mentioned your daughter. Is that it? Or is there something else that brings you that something internal that gets you going each day? What's that thing? Is it a Snickers bar? Like, what is it?
One is my daughter. That's number one. Number two is God. I was raised a Jehovah's Witness growing up, kind of lost faith and just being like a good person in general. But this kind of brought me back where it's like down to earth, like you need God kind of thing. So every morning, family and friends is like just all the love I'm getting, all this communication I'm having. I'm actually like a quiet person. I never like did interviews during footballs or like how's your game? Good. So like I was just a really, really quiet person. This kind of meant a little bit more. So just being active and just having that love, that just motivates you even more, kind of a thing, just to go out and do your thing. Because some days it's like I can't do this. But then, I think about it, look at my little girl, look at a picture of her or anything, and just, get up and do it again kind of thing. So just all that little bit. And I'm actually still doing stunts. So that's as well too. I just got done. I don't know if you guys seen Fallout. It's so they have these big old like body armor machines that you have to be in. So I'm actually in one of those in like 100.
Oh, that's cool.
So like, I watched you flip a car. Is that what that was? Like,
oh no,
did I see you flip a car? Or that was different.
That was for the Flash, but yeah, this is a big old heavy ass suit that I'm in and working with that, and it's a trek. It's something hard. If I was even 100% healthy, it would have been tough to do. So like just things like that. So like, oh, I can still do it. Like
you're a soldier, man. You're an absolute soldier. I appreciate being your teammate. Like I said, good people I try to stay connected to because, it goes beyond the football field. I'm really happy we had an opportunity to chat today. Of course, the circumstances is not how we want to reconnect, but we want to make sure that, me as your teammate, I want to do anything I can to help you out. And if it means, getting you out to tell your story, get a couple of extra dollars on that GoFundMe, any of that stuff. And Sheldon made a great point before, and I'm going to give this credit to him. Every interview you do now that's against your better wishes because you're an introvert guy. Everything you do is your legacy, and something like this is something your daughter finds one day. So we want to make sure that we honor that legacy. So if she does find this and she comes to the end and she reads it, we have this little thing we do after every guest appears and just talks about your ultimate road trip. So we're before we let you go, we're going to talk about your ultimate road trip. So we're going to ask Glenn Love Jr. You played at UCLA, you played in the CFL, you went up to Canada, you live in New Mexico, you travel back and forth to LA, you got lots going on. If you could take your ultimate road trip, where are you going?
I would say just all the Americas, man. Start at up north and come all the way down to South America. That's me, man. Because I just love different cultures and love different opportunities to see how other people live. So that's me. I'm a quiet guy. I'm observing everything as well. So just doing that would be like the ultimate thing. Just to have like a camper and just do that for like 2 months or something like that. That'd be sick.
See, and that's my next question, Glenn. What are you driving?
I'll be a big ass camper because I got my CDL license now, so I can do that and just have my family and friends with me and just get going.
Like pulling a trailer on the back of an F-350, or is it like a motorhome kind of thing you're driving?
A motorhome, like the big 50-foot motorhomes.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. And I think you mentioned it, but who are you taking with you on this trip?
My closest family and friends all day. If they can all get together and not argue all the time, but that'd be great.
Hey, you want to name a few? Name a few.
Mom, dad, of course. One of my best friends, JT. One of my best friends, EJ, as well too. And yeah, like I got friends from Calgary, like Bishop. He's a great guy. Frank is a good guy. I still can keep in contact with them as well too. Embo. Then my cousins, man. So and my little
and your
girl.
Daughter. Don't forget your daughter.
Yeah, of course, my little girl and my sisters, and my mom and dad, man, all day.
So on this trip, like a road trip's not complete without bringing some snacks. You got to stop sometimes, but you're going to be snacking in that big old Winnebago of yours. What's your go-to snack on a road trip?
Right now, fruit. Keep me awake. Got my little sugars and some fruit, man. I love watermelon. Honestly, it's great for me. I used to love when I was little, like Doritos, like the what's it called? Oh my goodness, what was it like it's like the sour ones or something. I don't know what kind of Doritos were, but the Doritos, I was eating them up 24/7. But yeah, fruit definitely right now. If I was a little kid, Doritos all day.
Nice. And then the last thing, there's going to be a long road trip because you're going to the Americas. What is on the playlist all the way down?
Ooh, I have to switch it up. It has to be just, if I'm going through the country, I got to be some country music. If I'm going through, the city, got to be some rock and roll, some jazz, some rap. I got to switch things up. 100%.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Glenn, we appreciate you coming on the show, man. Like I said, anything we can do to help for people that want to follow you and follow your journey, whether it's your journey on the big screen, behind the scenes, or your journey as you battle ALS. And for anyone that wants to help you, the link's up there. Glenn, we're going to say thanks. Appreciate this. We're going to keep tabs on you. And I think as we're going to go to commercial, we're definitely going to play the Super Bowl commercial.
All right, sounds good. Thank y'all for having me again, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Glenn.
Thanks, brother. All the best.
You too.
Beautiful, isn't it? Ravens, Seahawks, Eagles. Each year they must follow the path of migration, marking the season's end. It is at this time that we must say goodbye to watching these majestic creatures live. But never fear. You'll be back, as certain as the sun. They always come back. Which is why it's never too early to prepare for the coming season by signing up for NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, where you can watch every game, every Sunday. Yes, with NFL Sunday Ticket, you can greet the new season as it dawns. Aw, a rookie. Sign up now for NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV.
Performance Freight Management is a global logistic freight shipping company that will handle the entire shipping process for any package to any country. Whether it be a simple truck shipment from your office to Toronto or your company importing generators from China, PFM Freight handles it all. We have the expertise and technology to handle any shipping requirements. Skip the guesswork and let us take the shipping pain off your plate.
Do you want your business to be known? YYCCalgaryBusiness.ca is Calgary's only online media platform that gets you noticed. Short-form video content is rapidly taking over as the most effective way to engage your audience. Whether you're being interviewed on a vodcast, sharing a sizzle reel, or even hosting your own show, there is one place you can publicize your business. We want to tell your story and introduce you to our network of empowered business owners and leaders right here in Calgary. Isn't it time you took your digital game to 11? Call us or email us now.
Welcome back to the ride. Thanks for joining us. As always, we're powered by Performance Freight Management, We Drone Real Estate Media, and YYC Business. Sheldon, that was a little bit of what is it? Slow, light, heavy, light, right? I mean, geez, I know coming into this, we didn't know how to approach it, right? Here we go, got a guy that's played professional football. He's got this great career as a stuntman, but this real heavy news. How do you feel about what we learned from Glenn today? You didn't know him. You kind of had to make it a connection really quick and then figure out which way to go. Like, what are your thoughts after that?
Well, my thoughts, like when you first announced that we were getting him, and I knew the gravity of the diagnosis, like my heart just sunk, right? Like, yeah. I think anybody who's a dad, you think about your own life and your own mortality, but to think that you may have time taken away with your loved ones, and especially your kids. So I went in and I did a lot of research, watched everything I could on the guy. I watched a bunch of the stuff that he's done, and I was just impressed with how dynamic and how strong of a person he was. Like, it's just, again, it's not a little thing, folks, to be out there playing pro sports in a league like the CFL, but then to continue chasing dreams and just checking all these things off that the average person just doesn't find the time or the connections to do. I mean, he's just an impressive guy, but to be honest with you, like, I have a heavy heart for him, but yeah. I'm almost inspired by, when he talked about losing time with his daughter, put him in a hole for weeks.
Yeah. And
it's also time with his daughter that brought him back and is the reason why he continues to fight. I believe it. I mean, I can't relate to what he's going through, but what I heard from him, I mean, I wish him nothing but the best. I'm inspired, and you just automatically feel like you have to pull for the guy.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think when we talk about like our show and our audience, guys our age, I mean, Glenn's only about 35 years old. Yeah. He's a lot younger than you or I. He's a lot younger than the guys that listen to our show. But I think every one of us, I know I had it a few years ago where I had a real serious talk with the doctor. Turns out I'm still here, which is great. I know it's happening to everyone in our circle. That's our peer group. You're going to have that serious talk. Things go on. It's a natural process of aging. And, for a diagnosis like that, because again, before the water bucket challenge and before all these things, I didn't know exactly what ALS is. For sure, being in Calgary, and I mentioned the snows as we talked to, that really put a spotlight on this. I knew a few people, one notably that I was connected to was Michael Souls, famous CFL running back that played both with Edmonton, Montreal, and notably for me was McGill, where I'm from. And it didn't end well for those folks. But, to have that and to see his positive outlook and, what he's doing, how he's traveling every week now between New Mexico and LA to do these treatments. It sure shines a light back on you when you think, oh, like maybe you got something minor and you don't want to take care of it, or you feel like, oh, feel sorry for yourself. That's what I'm trying to get to. It's like, there's no feeling sorry for yourself. You got no excuse, right? Like, what can you do to stick around as long as you can? And we talk about mental health. We talk about physical health. It's not easy, right? Like, it can't be easy for him. And I know it wasn't easy for him, but you hang on to those things, those people that you would take on the road trip with you, because those are people you want to be around for, right?
Yeah, for sure. And, it was great to hear that he's still working, because, that's my other worry is, okay, what am I leaving? How am I going to be able to help out my kids? I would just motivate me so much to continue working and making sure that they're going to be taken care of. But you know what he didn't bring up when he asked him what brought him the most joy? It wasn't his work. As fascinating as the work that he does is, he's really just focused on his family and on God right now. And, just such a grounded guy. Right. And, I hope, being in the amazing condition he is, because he looks like he still could play.
Oh yeah.
He's still doing stunts. That I hope the way he's taken this on, just like he would training for a season, is going to give him every opportunity to, if not beat this thing, just prolong it and outlive all the odds.
Yeah. And for Glenn, if he's watching this whole episode, maybe he watches his own stuff, maybe he doesn't, I don't know. But, for whatever point, like I wanted to make sure that he mentioned the names of the people that he would take on that ride from, because you know what? Sometimes you say, yeah, I'll take all my family and friends, or I'll do this, but putting names to the purpose, I think really galvanizes the resolve, I hope that, this was a heavy topic. I mean, there's no way around it. This was heavy. This was sort of one of the stories we always wanted to do. Definitely a far cry from our Tuesday Night Live episodes.
Yeah.
Where we have fun. We do studs and duds. This is like, we knew we were going to get to a serious topic, but I think, for those of you listening, it's a way for us, one, to shine a light on someone's story, to help them out. So again, if Trey puts up the GoFundMe on the ribbon at the bottom there, and we'll put it in the comments too when we post this, but also to help him, that legacy that you talked about. I thought you mentioned, because it wasn't just him telling his story, it's also him leaving, like you say, bread.
Bread. Yeah, that's and that's how I look at it. I want all the breadcrumbs out there, just so that my kids, first and foremost, and my family, my wife, just a reminder that if they ever did come across it, just that I was a person on this planet that loved them greatly, and I dared greatly. And I hope he continues to do that. And, and I hope that, for me, I've never known a person with ALS. I've known some celebrities and heard, but I didn't know the Snow family. Right. But, it's something that's real. It doesn't affect a lot of people, thank God, but it does affect some. And if this just helps bring some awareness, I know, excuse me, I know I'll be making a donation to help out to his GoFundMe, just as a fellow brother that played in the CFL.
Yep.
And I hope the word gets out there, and I know it's going to be some real difficult times. I hope it's not limited by funds and money. And so I hope he's able to get the word out and just get as many people behind him as possible.
Yeah, no, it sounds like he's got a great support group. And again, anything we do to amplify, and hopefully he's getting out there. And he said getting out of his comfort zone. He's a quiet guy. We joked about it, but you were a quiet guy. You weren't a guy that was going to do a podcast until I threw you a banana, right?
I'd be a guest on them, right? I did the radio show, but just look at our social medias. Compare our personal social medias. You're on there all the time, and I'm. You'll see 2 posts from me per year, and looking at Glenn's, it's the same thing. So it's good for him to step out of that shell and help leave that legacy and help raise awareness, and anything we can do to support it. It feels like you can do so little, except just be there for support and let a brother know you've got his back.
Yeah, no, anything you can do for your joy. That's the directive he's got. And that this show brings us joy. I love doing what we did today, which is, use our little platform to help someone out even a little bit. But what brings us joy is all of you watching this podcast or listening on all the channels we do. We appreciate you coming on and joining us on our Tuesday night show that we've been doing consecutively for over a year now. Every Tuesday night, 10:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We love when you join us. It brings us joy. We hope it brings you joy. And Sheldon, I just want to say great job to you today. I know, every time we do an interview, you're like, oh, I'm a little nervous for this one. And you always do a fantastic job. And Trey producing the show, you do a fantastic job as well. Appreciate how you pull it all together when this actually turns up posted. And then we have to thank Performance Freight Management, We Drone Real Estate Media, and YYC Business. Thanks, guys, for listening today. Thanks for sharing your thoughts with us. And we look forward to seeing you on the live ride on Tuesday nights.